Well, let's ask Wimp. He's a basketball guy. The coach Wimp Sanderson with us on the I'm kidding. It's the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He's presented by the Rental Works division of Crane Works. Hello, Coach.
Nobody gives a hoot about the cotton-picking sunglasses episodes by all you. All the things sunglasses do for y'all is hide your ugly face.
Well, I'm surprised you don't wear them more, Coach. I've never seen you wear a pair.
I've got a pair that I wear sometimes.
Okay.
I do. But I'm a good grief from Gordo. People rather hear me than that bull crap.
I don't disagree.
What do y'all want to talk about?
Let me ask you first. Hey, were you watching the end of Wisconsin and Purdue? I mean, a couple of things I wanted to ask you about.
I watched the end of that. I watched. If you guys are ever coaching, call me so you can get the ball in bounds. Vanderbilt's got the game won against Mississippi State. The game's over. All they got to get the basketball into Pippen or whoever, and it's game's over. They throw the cotton picking thing away, and that kid got the basketball with no seconds on the clock and drilled it to actually win the game, and Florida did. No way for Florida to win the game, and they did.
Well, they were down 5 with 44 seconds to go.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something. When they got the ball, before he shot the three, the guy got fouled 10 times with handling the basketball. They didn't call it. They kicked the basketball into Castleton, or whatever his name is, big guy from Michigan, for Florida. He kicks it back out to this kid on the corner, Fleming, or whatever his name is. And that booger bear drilled it. I mean, it was a terrible. They keep bragging about Vanderbilt being much better. Better from what? Better from no wins in the SEC several years ago?
It's hard not to go up from there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So anyway, that's the way it goes.
Well, I was going to ask you, were you watching? I know you got multiple TVs.
No.
Were you watching Wisconsin and Purdue? I mean, that was the only top 10
I did
matchup.
not. I did not. But
well, the reason I was going to ask, in the final 25 seconds, Wisconsin hit back-to-back threes off the backboard.
Yeah, well, I talk about angles, and not those kind of angles. Not long shots like that.
Yeah.
But he lucked them in.
Backboard's your friend.
Yeah, that's right. It's your friend. So who's the best team in Wisconsin? And Wisconsin won't get to be it, aren't they?
Who's the best team in the Big Ten? You're asking?
Yeah.
I still think this is stupid because Purdue got swept by Wisconsin, but I think Purdue's a better team.
Yeah, maybe it's close.
Brown says it all the time, and I agree with him. I don't trust Purdue when they get to the NCAA tournament. And I'll be honest with you, Wimp, I don't trust anybody in the Big Ten lately when they get to the – I mean, they'll get all the bids, but I don't think any Big Ten team is a Final Four type team.
Yeah, they're going to get 9.
Yep.
They're going to get 9 bids.
But do you think any of them are good enough to win the national championship?
I don't know. It's just one – it's a deal where you have a bad night defensively, or don't shoot the basketball well, or not ready to play, or sometimes you get an NCAA with guys that are really good, and they play somebody they think's not very good, and they're not ready to play. And the mental part of it is it's not as effective in the NCAA because they're happy to be there, but sometimes you just don't. Basketball's a game that you just don't play, sometimes as well as you need to because the defense is so good that particular game that you can't get the threes off that you need to. Now State and Auburn, we'll talk about that in a minute. State is last in threes attempted. They're dead last. Of course, Alabama's first. Next to them is Missouri, and next to them is Kentucky. Those three have shot the least number of threes. Certainly, State's got the one really really good player that can really play. I don't know. But Molinaro, how you pronounce it, Iverson, he's very good. So I think Auburn was very fortunate to win at Missouri. They won by 1 point. Alabama lost by 1. I think this is a game Auburn will win, and I think Auburn will go. And of course, they'll beat South Carolina at home. I think this is the game Auburn will win. I think they'll be ready to play because there's a lot on the line, and know they can beat South Carolina. So I would say Auburn is going to be. And Auburn had and I'm not saying it, I'm saying this to be honest with you because I'm a schedule guy. They had a good schedule in the 5 games that they played. When you play South Carolina, Ole Miss, and Georgia, you got 6 wins pretty quickly, and then you have Florida, which they won twice, and then they beaten Alabama twice. So they won all their games except one when they went down to Florida.
The coach, Wimp Sanderson, with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He is with us each week, courtesy of the Rental Works division of Crane Works. If Auburn wins this game tonight, they're going to be the regular season conference champions. Do you think that's deserving of a 1 seed?
I think he probably is.
Yeah.
I think he probably is.
I mean, if you think the
Arizona-
SEC is the best conference, which a lot of people do, I don't see how you don't make their conference champion a 1 seed.
No, I would agree to that. I think that's right. The tournament games, if you win or lose in the tournament games, doesn't mean a lot to you. People go crazy about if they win 2 in the tournament. Tournament doesn't do that.
And you valued the tournament. You put a heck of a lot of value. So for you to say that,
I put a lot of value. I tried to win it
I know.
because back then you were the champions of the SEC. Now there'll be some teams whose players who know they're not going to go to the NCAA tournament probably unless they're not going to play real hard. They'd rather be with their girlfriend down in Florida. That's the truth, because spring break comes for some of them during this next week, and the spring break's a scary time for kids to want to get out and not play any more basketball. So it's to me it's dangerous. We try to call attention to that pretty much when I was coaching, and we did everything we could to have live legs. We didn't practice real hard. Everybody else was practicing 3 hours. We practiced in 30 minutes. Yeah. We didn't practice hard at all. We practiced hard for an hour, and then we quit. And we bragged about how much better shape we would be in our opponent.
Live legs for basketball, not for spring break, right?
Yeah, that's right. We don't have live legs for spring break. Thank you very much.
Random question here. Did you represent yourself on some of your contracts, and did you have anything in your contract, any incentives, if you won the SEC tournament?
No. Back then, no. Coach Bryan, they didn't give me. I think they gave me maybe a month raise. I think they probably did. They give
gift certificate from Goldbro.
Yeah, they gave you a month raise. Raise.
Did you represent yourself though? Did you do your own contracts?
I can't remember. I don't know.
Well, you had a lawyer looking
an
over
agent or a lawyer or something.
I had somebody helping me.
Okay.
I didn't work too much. I did when I first started. I thought, if I don't do the job, because wasn't anybody really tickled that I got the job to start with.
Hey, you know what our agents always tell us? Our agents represent some college football coaches, and they say that the AD always wants to negotiate with the coach because the AD's done 1,000 contracts. You know how many the coach has done? 0.
Yeah.
That's a mismatch right there.
Always a mismatch there. Wimp Sanderson's with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. I'm always interested, Wimp, with you and your coaching philosophy and how you like to attack certain teams. And you've second guessed yourself a couple of times. So you talked about live legs and things like that. Here's Alabama down the stretch, and all of a sudden Quinterly is playing better with more confidence. Keon's playing better with more confidence, and it seems to be helping them defensively too. How do you keep fueling that? How do you keep feeding that confidence to guys like JQ and Keon down the stretch here?
Well, I continue to start Quinterly myself, and certainly Ellis has played very, very well. And you just all you do is just simply, tell them to continue to not worry about things that go bad, to correct them and get them done, and don't turn the basketball over and shoot a good three. And when they do, and Quinterly is as good as I've ever seen taking the ball to the basket and using the glass there, and also shooting the three. He feels like he's gotten a little bit more comfortable playing, and I don't know what you say to him to get them better, any better than they already are. Shaq probably needs to shoot a little bit better, and you gotta cut down on your turnovers. You got to do a good job of making your threes when you shoot. But that's the way they're going to play, regardless. You said I played, question myself, and I did. They're going to play a certain way, regardless, and They may say they're to a couple of guys. I don't know if they do this, though. I'll have to ask them. Let's be sure you shoot a good three, because there are a couple of them that don't shoot it real well. Now, that's what I would do. I don't know if they do that. So, I just do everything I can to get them ready to play mentally, because if they're good enough physically, or you wouldn't have signed them. So we'll see.
Well, they should be.
I don't know if I answered that question. It was a hard question to answer.
No, and can I be truthful with you? And I like being honest with you here.
Yeah.
I got into the question and forgot really what I was going to ask you, so I had to circle around to a very hard, complicated question. I was really going to ask you about the SEC tournament, because
Okay.
there are so few things I used to say the SEC tournament doesn't mean anything. You're already in the tournament. But the more I think about it, there are so few times you can give your guys a ring, a championship ring, because unless you're national champion, regular season champion, or tournament champion, you don't get a ring. And there are so few chances for a guy to get a banner up in the arena or a ring. So I've changed on that. I agree with you. I think winning the tournament's a big deal.
Well, I understand the round robin versus. I know I can tell Brownie and them think the round robin is more important. I can understand that. But when you get your team ready to play through a tournament, and the tournament is going to be the champion. I had shown off all my. That's going to be the championship ring.
Yep.
And for our teams, and this sounds awful, I say it all the time, our teams to get in the final game 9 out of 12 years is almost unbelievable. We won 11 straight games. We won 11 straight games in that tournament against good competition. And it for me, it was big, and we kept, we thought we did it the right way. We rested. We didn't do much. We didn't go to the SEC tournament to the very last minute. We had to go, and we were. Most of the time we were NCAA bound. A couple of times we may not have been. We never really. We got one good seed, a 2 seed, and that was a fiasco. So,
a fiasco. What was your favorite tournament venue? Because I'm trying to remember. I know you played one here in Birmingham. You played up on the stage
won one
in
in
Nashville.
Florida. We won one in Orlando.
Where was the Florida one? Orlando.
Okay, in Orlando. We won down there. The greatest game in the history. And I say this in the history of the SEC tournament was Alabama versus Arkansas. They had 3 pros. We had Hollywood, Sprewell, and Norrie.
Hey, Rockstar was there.
Yeah, we had 3 pros. It's the greatest game I've ever seen.
Was Elliott Washington the winning?
No, that was not the Elliott Washington game. That was a different game.
Yeah, Elliott Washington game. It was.
Oh, was it?
It's a deal where, and I told us the story again. We got new listeners.
Sure.
We're down 4 with 32 seconds, and Spree hits one in the lane to cut it to 2. We go to the other end, we foul. They miss a free throw, we rebound. They come down. I'm going to coach them. I'm going to call timeout like I did with Kentucky when we won that. I'm going to really coach them. I'm not convinced that when we broke the huddle, that 3 of them thought we were running one thing and 2 of them thought we were running something else. I'm not sure. but man, I'll admit all this stuff. But I wasn't sure we were on the same page when we broke the huddle. When we start down the floor after getting the ball at midcourt, Hollywood's on the dribble, and I have said 100 times, Hollywood wouldn't throw it to his mother if she was open. he just, he's going to shoot it or whatever. He kicks that ball over there in the corner to Elliott Washington, who I had picked up. Watching him play a half-court game because I got beat on a kid I thought I had. And I took the school plane and flew to Jacksonville. I watched him play half-court, and I offered him a scholarship. And he drilled that thing for the it was pros against pros in that game. And it was some basketball game. And by the way, Elliott Washington's son is a defensive back, and Coach Saban just signed him.
Yep. He's a good one, too, by the way.
Yeah. So that was, and I told this story before, so everybody said, well, I heard it again. Well, if you've heard it again, then turn it off. So.
No, do not turn it off, whatever you do. All right, he is the coach, Wimp Sanderson. He joins us each week, courtesy of the Rental Works division of Crane Works.
Rental Works division of Crane Works has all the equipment you need for any DIY projects, from chainsaws to skid steers. They have it all. David Upton has an expert team of salesmen and equipment operators to help you with your project. So give them a call or visit craneworks.com for more information.
Coach?
Appreciate you guys having me on. It's kind of same old today, but basketball season, we got to do that.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach. Love you.
Else,
That's it.
I was going to say something to.
What you going to say?
I can't think what I was going to say. LT.
Were you going to?
All right,
to
that's
LT?
it.
Okay.
I can't think. LT's probably going to the bathroom anyway. All right, later.
I'm here.
All right, bye. That's Coach Wimp Sanderson with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.